is yours, and it is our last presentation, because after that we are going to our lunch till yeah, 1 hour, for 1 hour.
Thank you, Agne. Dear Commissioner, dear Gerald, dear colleagues, indeed, I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to exchange views on an issue that is vital to our countries and, of course, to the EU itself. Dear friends, we are discussing for a long time, and it's about time to be practical and take decisions. As the flow of irregular migrants to Europe continues to increase on some routes, including my country, and the practice of instrumentalization of migration for political purposes is spreading alarmingly among our neighbors, it is clear that the effective protection of our external borders is an imperative for Europe's stability and security. We have just seen this morning the Lithuanian case on site. Unfortunately, I can assure you that the problem is much worse in my country, in Cyprus. And since the percentage of the asylum applicants and the people already given international protection reached 4.6% of the population. They are almost 50,000 people. Frontline member states acting as guardians of Europe's external borders should take immediate and decisive action to prevent the influx of irregular migrants and the penetration of potential criminal elements into Europe. This is something that we can't avoid. In this regard, border management is essential to prevent primary flows. This is why we reiterate our firm position on the financing of physical barriers at the external borders as one of the most effective measures to prevent influx. In the case of Cyprus, this measure should also apply at the Green Line, which is the ceasefire line, which, although not an external border, and I want to underline that, it is the main point of entry for irregular migrants into the areas which are under the effective control of the Republic. Having said that, we regret that the proposal to revise the Schengen Code does not contain any relevant provisions, although almost half of the member states have requested in written, and the President of the European Council, Charles Michel, has clearly stated that this is a legitimate request. Given that the prevention of arrivals from the sea presents primary humanitarian, but also legal challenges and practical difficulties, we must redirect our focus on preventing departures from third countries of origin and transit at source. This is something that we have discussed a lot in the past, and it's about time to take some practical decisions, as I said before, proactively. In this respect, effective cooperation with third countries in order to strengthen their ability to effectively manage their borders and prevent departures is vital, including investments in order to envisage economic opportunities in the respective third countries. To this end, continuous efforts are needed to dismantle smuggling networks with an enhanced role for Europol, for Frontex, and Eurojust. The conclusions of additional status agreements between Frontex and neighboring countries, as well as other countries of origin or transit, to allow for the deployment of the European Border and Coast Guard Standing Corps with executive power on the territory and the territorial waters of third countries should be sought. In this context, Cyprus requests the conclusion of a status agreement with Turkey as a matter of urgency and as a condition for additional EU support to this country, to Turkey. While supporting and working with key partners is vital to the success of our efforts, the European Union should make full use of all available tools to promote the effective implementation of return and readmission agreements, We need these agreements urgently if we want to be effective. Finally, as regards the tactic of instrumentalization of migrations by third countries, the European Union's response to the recent events orchestrated by Belarus has shown that decisive and comprehensive action, which includes diplomatic outreach, of course, and the use of appropriate leverage and legal tools, can yield remarkable results in very short term. In light of the above, we expect that all attempts for instrumentalization of migratory flows from third countries against EU member states will be addressed in a united and coherent manner across the EU. Thank you, President.
Thank you very much, dear Nikos. And now, dear colleagues,